Let's see how all this is working. It is about time for all this to work. Perfect timing. Love a sneeze just as I'm starting everything up. Yep, look at that. So, hello everyone. I'm going to sneeze again. Excuse me. It is Monday night, so it's time for drawing inward. I apologize. I'm going to need a tissue. 1 second. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me not be a completely unreasonable person. Be cultured and blow my nose after I sneeze. So hello everyone. Last week I wasn't here because I had a surprise work trip, but I'm back and I'm going to do some more line reps here just to get myself back in the habit, back in the practice, get the old hand working. I'm very tired tonight, I must admit. Not going to complain, just to provide a status report, because I was at a convention this past weekend and did a whole bunch of panels, 8 panels in 3 days. Just me up there talking to folks. And then Sunday I did 4 panels back to back to back to back. That's right. Pretty intense. So 4.5 hours straight lecturing, basically, answering questions. No breaks, just one right after the other. So I really enjoyed myself, actually. It was really cool, but it was also just exhausting. So I've warmed up my hand a little bit. Let's get started, and I'm now going to actually take this page off and work on that, so I'm not dealing with the spine there. Leave that to one side. In fact, I might just go ahead and I'm going to clean that off, make it a little easier to deal with. Yeah, that feels better. Okay, so we're going to do some Nausicaa fan art today. You'll see a lovely, I believe a Hayao Miyazaki original of Nausicaa from Nausicaa the Valley of Wind. So we're going to do some fan art of that. I might also play around with doing some animation experimentation tonight, but or at least some planning. But we're not there yet. Let's go ahead and start working on Nausicaa here. Actually, 1 second. I need to reconfigure some things. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so I can see her and everything else going on. Good. So let's start we're going to start, I think, with the nose of all things. That has just a little bit of a curve there, and so then the eye is here, and it's a nice curve, and then there's the eye over here. And I think I'm going way too big, actually, but we'll see where that goes. Interestingly, there's no underline, and then we have the very simple eyebrows. Okay, then we have a smile down here, and then we'll give her the rest of her face, which comes down like this. I'm actually not a huge fan of how knobbly her head is. I can tell this is not turning out right. We have this kind of curve here coming down to there. So what am I doing wrong? This comes down. Okay, so I can tell already. I want want to have this come down to about here and then curve. It's a little better. Let's give her her eyes. I think that's going to kind of bring things together, hopefully. And there's wonderful piercing brown eyes that Nausicaa has. They're quite circular, actually, by anime eye standards. Interesting. So let's start there. Again, I don't feel quite right about this face. I think it's too foreshortened. But it does fit. I think the nose needs to be longer. Let's try bringing the nose down a little bit. And then, yeah, I think if we elongate this face a bit, it'll match better. Let me give her her little smile. And then we have the cheek come out and down. And then do the curve around like that. Does that feel better? Not really. Let's do a little bit more hair. That might help us a little. Boom, boom, with hair. Boom, boom, boom. And some hair coming around like that. And then coming down, and coming down, and coming down, and then we'll tuck it in here. Give her her little sideburns. Hello, Gorilla Monsoon. I am tired from a long convention, but otherwise all is well. I'm definitely having trouble with Nausicaa here. She's just not coming together very easily. Let's give her her little earrings. And she has an earring over here, which we'll put around, we'll put the ear in. Give her, I think she deserves an ear. And then the earrings. How are you doing, Gorilla Monsoon? What am I missing? I can tell this isn't right, but I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong. Certainly, the jawline's a little off. That's a little better. Do a bit more hair. Hopefully that'll tell us where we're going wrong. I do like this wild hair she has. Definitely feels unkempt. Excuse me. Natural. Do a little thing out there. Then we'll come around like this. And then it'll probably come out about here is actually where it should kind of explode outwards. And it's fairly well kempt in here. Obviously, I'm not following this exactly. We're getting something fairly close. Okay. The eye is too far to the left. Let's bring it in a bit. Let's bring it over to about here. See how that helps. And give her her eyeball. Yeah, that's definitely a little better. If you back out, oh, that stinks. That's really that's really a shame. Were you working or what? Doing something fun, I hope. That's a little closer, but still just not feeling right. Again, I think the face is too squashed. But I'm not sure how to elongate it in a way that looks right. Do I just move the eyes down? Let's try moving the eyes down. Down to about there, maybe? Let's do some eyeball there. Is that better? Somewhat. And then if we work the jaw a little more, let's try elongating that jaw a bit. Let's try pulling it down to here. And obviously you'll have to adjust the rest of it. Yeah. Maybe not that much. We'll adjust the give her her smile right about there. Well, it's just not feeling right. I mean, it's definitely better than it was before. I think box Coke cans. That happens. I feel like this eye should be a little lower, even. Yeah. Let's try that. It is surprisingly difficult to match this art style. Or at least match this character. Yeah, it's a little closer. I don't know. She's not feeling quite right. And then we'll do... I guess this does also speak to my having been kind of out of it for a week. Try to do a curve up here. Have her arm go out like that. See what we can do to suggest the rest of the outfit. We may be able to come in here. Show the billowing of the shirt. Yeah, it's a bit too big over here. Let's make it look a little less shoulder patty. That's better. Do we put Teto on there? I don't know. Not sure. Man, what is it about her face that's so wrong? I just can't tell. I mean, the hair's a little off. Like the hair should come up more into here. And it should actually be a little higher. Let's try that. Let's bring the hair up a bit. We'll still do the little spiky dudes. We'll bring it up. And then keep it around like that, maybe. Is that better? It's a little better. She should have more volume, though. She really should. Okay. Let's give her more volume. So this should come down and really, like, really step up, I think. And then we'll do something over here, and then something a little like that, a little bit more, and then we'll pull it up like that. That's better. That's closer. It's actually maybe a bit too high. I'm going to pull that down a little bit. Looks a little bit more like Kashana's hair, actually. Not quite sure why. Yeah, that's about right. Give her a, whoops. I hate when that happens. Hate when that happens. There we go. Okay. That's much closer to Nausicaa hair. Again, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong on the everything else. Read any books recently? Quite a few, actually. I've been reading some comics. Foxtrot. Read a collection of Japanese myths, traditional Japanese myths. What was that? It's up there somewhere. Yeah, I don't see it on the bookshelf, but it's a collection of traditional Japanese, fairy tales and such. That was really interesting. So yeah, doing that. I got some new manga to read, some other stuff to get through. I've been working my way as an audiobook through The Name of the Wind. The fantasy novel by or the more recent fantasy novel, which has been quite interesting. Let's give her, so we have a strong curve on the eyes. That might help. It might help us to really delineate that curve. Make it a little more noticeable. Get more of a curve, less of an arc, if you will. More circular. See what we have there. It's not too bad. And then we'll make that a nice circle if we can. Not easy to do a circle. That's yeah. Okay. We'll go ahead and do. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do the pupils, because his characters definitely have pupils. And we'll do the eyebrows, which always taper. So I think I'm actually going to do it this way. So we can taper a bit. Yeah, not terrible. Let's do the curve here. And then come out a bit, and then back in for that bulge of the cheek. Man. Tricky. Surprisingly tricky. Okay. Definitely got something going on here. Don't know if it's Nausicaa, but we're getting something. Something that reminds me of a character. And we'll go ahead and do a teardrop like that. And we'll do this. I mean, frankly, this ends up being more or less an original character. I'm not going to be all that horrified. Her hair comes down a bit more. So we're going to do that. Okay, let's work on that hair. Have that hair come down and come back up. Then come down, come back up, come down, come back up. Again, trying for a lighter touch here with the hair. Not always successful, but I'm getting something here. Her hair, yeah, kind of tucks in there. It's coming together. Definitely does not look like Nausicaa to me, but it will be a, you know, it'll be something. Out, taper. Come back, do another little thing, and now we're going to try to do a more consistent line and fail utterly. And how did that work? Okay, and we're just going to come all the way out and in, out and in, out and in, and then we're going to come down and more or less do these very tucked in bits of hair coming down. All right, that's certainly a character of some kind, like I said. We'll give her a neck, going a little thicker on the neckline there. In fact, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole clothing a little thicker. Not sure why I'm doing that, but I am. And we're just going to go in and suggest some ripples in the clothing. And yeah, we'll go ahead and do a line for that. Again, just kind of wrinkles here. Come around, go like that. Try to be fairly careful here with the line coming down and around. Again, kind of suggesting the bust. We're not being too careful about it. And then, yeah, we'll do a line for the arm coming out. Okay, let's give her collarbone. That's nice. We'll give her nostril. It's rather nice. Should we shade in her eyes? I don't think so. First Name of the Wind. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm enjoying Name of the Wind. It's just, it's long. Thanks, yeah, definitely. It's amazing what practice will do. All right, now that's feeling like a pretty decent place to let that character be. So let's just go ahead and dry it out. Good. We're only a half hour in, so I can do something else here. I'll do another drawing. I don't think I want any shadows on that one. I do feel like it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring her neck in a little bit. Yeah, seems a little more natural. Oh, and I forgot to give her the other part of the neck. Well, let's do that. So we'll give her a neckline there. Good. Yeah, that feels a little more natural, a little more realistic. And I'm going to actually erase out to the edges. That's cutting down on the amount of wrinkling. If there's one thing I hate, it's wrinkling. It just really gets to me. Like that. Gosh. This is one advantage to keeping it in the book before you erase, because there's a little more to hold it together. So that is something to think about. Let's just clean all this up. Give her nice clean lines. What else we got? Okay. Here we go. There's that character, whoever that is. Like I said, sort of a Nausicaa-esque character. Might ink her, or color her rather. Let me actually, while I'm here, look in. And I want to see if I can notice any spots where the ink doesn't quite connect. So that if I do a fill, it's not going to freak out on me. I'm just going to darken those spots. Make sure all the lines connect. Again, they don't have to, but it definitely helps a little. Yeah, that'll do. Oops. And right there. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Let's figure something else. Favorite fiction books of all time? Dune. No question. How about yourself? Ooh, do I want to do... That's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's really hard to draw, though. Yeah. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's not a lot to draw there. Ooh. That's kind of interesting. There's just not a lot of the character in the art. Some of this art's, I've got some really cool art here, but the colors make it just really hard to pick out the character. So let's instead, you know what would be kind of interesting? That is kind of interesting. What if I did this? Oops. Pull this in. What if I try to draw something a little different? Something more... Something with a bit more technical complexity. What if I tried to do this? Nausicaa on her own. I haven't read Dune. Yeah. Don't be... you're absolutely right. There's a lot of Dune out there. But really, the first book is the primary thing to read. You know, if you never get to the rest of the books, that's totally fine. The first book was intended to be self-contained. So you will have a complete story in the first book. The further books do flesh out some of the plot lines that are established in the first book. So you get to see where a lot of the characters end up, things along those lines. But the first book is very much, you know, kind of all you really centrally need to know. Which is one of the nice things. And each subsequent book just kind of adds to it. But also to that point, you know, generally speaking, each subsequent book gets less interesting. So in general, folks are less and less impressed with the later books. So if you like the first book, you read the second book, you'll get a bit more to it. You know, it's you know, the first book, to my mind, is, you know, one of the great classics. It is just an excellent book. The second one is not quite as good, but it's still amazing, right? It's still very interesting. And then the third book and the fourth book, you know, they all kind of go down from there, but they're starting from a very high point. So it's not a massive criticism. That's actually one of the nice things about Dune, is that it's basically an adventure novel. Like, there's a lot of action in the book. It is dense in a real sense, but it's not that bad, if you will. Like, there's a lot of just running around. Oh, shoot. Uh, there's a lot of sort of sci-fi action in it. Okay, see if I can zoom in. All right, so I'm zoomed in over there. All right, let's see what I can do here. This is going to be interesting. I'm probably gonna fail miserably at this. But I'm actually gonna start with the Meave and try to get a sense of the shape. Oops. And then there's this down here. It's being drawn from an odd angle to begin with. Let's just go ahead and get the shape in. I feel like I've really messed that up. So from there, it would go up like this. Realizing now just how bird-shaped the Meave is. Actually, that's not too wrong. I just need to edge in a little bit more, and then make it sort of snub-nosed, like that. So this kind of curves down like that, and that's like that. Is that about right? That seems pretty correct to me, although it's it kind of comes down like this more. What is your favorite book, fiction book of all time? Yeah, I can live with it, and we'll do whoop, whoop. Always helps to make the sound effects. It always makes it better. Whoop. Whoop. All right. And then we've got the handrails. Like that. I do think this will clean up a lot better. Actually, a little further on. So clean up a lot more when I ink it. That is what penciling is for. And so Nausicaa has a foot here. Actually, it doesn't go quite that far. Like that. And kind of like that. And she has a leg. It's good to know Nausicaa has legs. And then we have the fringe and her kind of skirty thing coming up. And then we have her torso, comes up like this, her belt, and a bag, comes around like that, and then you can see the sword sticking out of there, kind of like a meat cleaver. May have to deal with the sword a little bit more. Okay. And then there's basically that. And so her torso is going to come up like this. I think I got the torso wrong. I think yeah, I need to arc this in a little bit more. So her torso is more like this. And then we have this here. This here. And then we have her arms. She has this interesting, like, cowboy fringe on her. Okay, wait a minute. There's a strap on the handlebars, which she is not holding on to, but we gotta represent. Actually, she's holding on to one and the other on the other side. Interesting. She has a hand on that, but this is coming down here, so we have a hand coming down like this, wrapped around, kind of like that, coming up and then in, and then we'll have her fringe. So obviously I've got that wrong. Okay. That's okay. We're sketching. We'll get there. This actually comes back. Oh yeah, it's coming back much closer to this. Okay. And then it comes back around that way. Okay. And then her other hand is down here, coming up, and then there's her arm, coming up like this. Yeah, okay. That comes around. This comes up and around the shoulder, and it comes back, but we also have the pouch, or like her hood, which is coming out like this. And then we have her hair, which is streaming. So we need the hair with a little teto tail coming out. And the hair is just kind of going like that. And then the hair comes back down like this. Like that. Down to there. And then you can just barely see a nose. And the front of her face. And her mouth. Okay. So we've got something kind of Nausicaa-like here. She has more of a leg there. You can see the back of that leg there standing, which is just kind of disappearing, if you will. We can see her other arm back here, which is holding on back there. So that gives us that sense. The arm just doesn't feel right. It feels like, okay, yeah, I see what I'm doing wrong. I just have to adjust the grip slightly on the arm. The arm should be here, or the hand should be here. And then coming up like this into that. Yeah, that feels better. It's just all about the physics of where your hand would actually be. Okay. We see that. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Again, the pose is a little off, but I think we have something to work with here. Hobbit or Ender's Game. Excellent choices. Excellent choices. Ender's Game is definitely a book that had a big impact on me. Definitely felt like I understood where Ender was coming from. All that. All right, let's get to the basic shape of the Meave down. I'm going pretty strong with this line because I know we have the density of that shadow. And then I'll go a little simpler down there. And then we have that line come in. So I'm just going to draw that doing its thing. That's fine. This actually sticks down a bit further, so I'm going to do this, and then this, and then we have that interesting shape, kind of curves in, and then it comes up. Again, I'm going to try to get a cleaner line this time. Not too bad. This actually sticks out, so I want to get that in. And we'll just get that. Actually, I think, yeah, it should be. I think these are going to be completely wrong. Yeah, they're completely wrong. But it's not a big deal, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm just realizing that I got them completely off. But for now, I'm not as concerned. Snub nose that in. This comes down to about there. We'll figure out the exactness of the lines when I start to quote-unquote shade. But now this should... Oh yeah, I've got some weird lines there. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in here. I actually might just more or less leave this as is. Like, it's not exactly the right lines for the me, but it's enough to give us that sense. All right, so now I'm going to try to be a little more careful here as I draw the support on the meave. And actually, let me stop there and do Nausicaa's hand. Give it that very difficult curve. And finish that up. And then try to give it that more elegant line for the rest of the curve there. And then come down. Definitely don't want to rush this. Yeah, okay. That's not bad. Where's the other one? Oh, I must have erased it basically. Okay, well, I know where I want it. Let's just put it in. Yeah. Really playing with fire there, but I think that's going to work. It's going to basically loop down that way. And then we do this strap, which we can actually show. There's a little line there, and we'll do the strap, going out like that, and around. I definitely felt like I was Ender when reading Ender's Game. Like, that was very much speaking to me and my experiences as a kid. And this will go up here. All right, let's play a bit more around with her feet. Comes down like this. You draw her legs. And now we're going to play around a bit more with her this like fringy outfit. And it just kind of curves out and then gets more fringy. And there's a lot of fringe here, so I'm just going to do a bunch of this. In fact, let's go back here so we get kind of the edge of that. And we'll do a bunch more of that. Cool. In fact, I am going to go ahead and do a bunch of lines in here to get across that idea. Yeah. We'll add more, but for now I want to go make sure I get her belt, which is actually a lot thinner there, and then get this going up here. Belt going back to her bag. And then we're going to go a little more subtle on the blade. And then we get her back. We get her hood. And I think I want that to be a little more like that. And then curve it in. And then we're going to get sort of this blackness around here, which we might just kind of fill in. Let's get the rest of her shoulder and that arm. We want to arc that up a little bit. Finish up that. That thing there. We'll do the rest of her arm. Okay. And then we're going to try to be careful here and do this part of her face, the nose, and come up and then do some hair. Do some very clear hair. Have the hair blow out. Then we want a bunch of tufts of hair. They're just kind of blowing. Very, very simple. And we'll go ahead and put in that little tail there. And I'll go ahead and ink that in. You can tell it's Teto. Get a little thicker, more black there. Yep. And then we'll do the hair here. Just kind of blowing around her head. And we see a little bit of an ear. And then we just be very careful to put in a mouth. He's kind of yelling. Okay, we're getting something there. That's interesting. The best way to decompress and clear your head. Certainly, taking a walk in the woods is one of the primary ways I do it, because I'm definitely a woods person. I love the woods. I love spending time there. It definitely makes me feel better and more connected to things. I'm actually going to darken that up a little bit. I'm actually going to add some more stuff in here just to imply like shadows and stuff going on. And let's just go ahead and more or less just completely darken up in here. That should be pretty dark. And then we'll do some of this fringe here. Can't really see any of that hand. That should be pretty dark. Just going to go ahead and put some darkness in there. Same thing with the other side of that strap. There'll be some darkness on this side of the strap as well. Add some shadow here and some shadow there. Okay, some shadow here. And this should be all in shadow. Interesting. Bunch of shadow back here, which makes sense. I'm going to add a bit more, just kind of coming around. And we want a bunch more down here. Again, just kind of getting across that sense of shadow, of darkness. And then we'll go ahead and do... Interesting how he's doing that. Just little marks. Actually, rather large marks to represent that shadow. We'll go for it, see what happens. I'm obviously not being nearly as firm as Miyazaki was, but we'll see if that gives it an interesting effect. He's getting smaller as it gets down here. I like that effect. I can live with that. And a bunch more here. Interesting. And then some down here. I think I'm just going to kind of again pretend that this is the actual design, even though it's not. I'll go ahead and just darken that dramatically. I do like strong darks, strong blacks. All right. We'll do some shadow here on the underside of that. Yeah, I definitely like to go outside and wander around. Other than that, if I'm inside, honestly just relaxing. Just, spending some time within some anime or, anime and some hot chocolate and looking out the window. Definitely helps me a lot. Quite a bit. All right, that's pretty close in terms of elements to what we have in the Nausicaa drawing. I'm going to add a few more things here to represent her hair blustering in the wind. So yeah, again, I don't know exactly what that is, who that would be, but it's not bad. I can live with that. As a drawing of the day. Now the magic of the eraser. That cross-hatching does look cool. It's an interesting effect. And like I said, I normally like sharper lines, sharper blacks. But that cross-hatching has its appeal. All right, there she is. Our Lady of Flying. I have not drawn a self-portrait. That would be hard. I'm not very good at drawing real people. I can draw anime characters because they're all lines. But I'm very bad at drawing shapes like this, as far as I know. I don't know. All right, so here were the experimentations for tonight. That's what we got. Like I said, not completely displeased with myself there. So I'll be scanning those and putting them up on the DeviantArt. Gorilla Monsoon, thank you so much for stopping by. Next week, I'll actually be on a work trip, but I should be able to do drawing inward from the hotel room. I'm going to try that as an experiment. I think it'll be a fun way to try to draw and see how that works out. So we'll see how that works out. So thank you so much. I'm going to go and relax a little bit and chill out and drink some more tea and look out the window. Have a good night to you as well, Gorilla. Have a great week. Until next time, draw something.